row here. You like the background here? Sorry, there. I thought I'd put this up because it kind of reflects the possible question that's in your mind, which is, and again, I'm addressing subjects that are coming up either on an ongoing basis or historically, and those of you that are looking to consider getting into property, maybe already dabbling in it, possibly started on the journey on it, and the question is, what type of property investor do you want to be? I think there's a slightly broader question we need to address, but the reason I put this image up there is because for a lot of people, they're looking to win back time. They want to generate some kind of passive income or some sort of profit that allows them to go and have experiences, spend money on themselves, doing things that maybe they wouldn't normally be able to do because they're just head down working. So the big question is, should I be buying property? Should I just be investing in something that buys properties? That's a great question. So let me put this up on the screen here and I'll ask you the question. Give you an idea to think about this. Now, if you're watching this with your husband or your wife or your partner and you're having this conversation about, honey, should we get into property? Or I'm thinking about getting into property, be aware that the first step you've got to ask yourself is, are you looking for more income? Are you looking for capital growth? Or are you looking to generate cash? Because they are the three main categories within property, meaning you can buy a property, rent it out, generate a cash flow, or you could buy and sell a property and generate cash. Or it might be that you buy a property and over time the capital value of that property goes up. So you're still doing whatever you're doing, you're just supporting it while it goes up in value. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time going into that at this stage. In fact, you might want to look at the link. I think it's below the video here. And come spend maybe 70 or so minutes with me going through a presentation where I break this down and give you some key steps to consider when it comes into getting into property. So go and have a look at it. It's a free video. That said, I want to just pick up on a few more points whilst I'm on this message with you, on this live with you. And that is, do you want to be hands-on or hands-off? So as I've got older, I'm less hands-on in my property business, still doing deals, looking at developments, also looking at properties that generate a cash flow. And we do that on a week-on-week basis. We look for different opportunities. We grab them. Some we put offers in and we lose them. 3 or 4 that's happened this week. Others we go, yes, there's a deal here. Great, we progress on it. The hands-on is everything from I do everything, i.e. you go out, do the research, run the numbers, go into the market, view the properties, meet the builders, meet the agents, meet everybody, and then get involved in the process of the build and all the way through to the end or the renovation of that project. Then you get the letting agents on board, then you get your tenants in place, and you could even manage them. I mean, that's an extreme case of hands-on. And there's many, many gradients all the way up to what I've got on the screen there is hands-off, meaning, well, actually, I don't do anything. I put my money in and I get a return on that money, or I get a cash flow on that money. And you've got to decide where you want to get into the scale of this. Now, again, what I talk about on my free presentation are basically 8 steps that you need to consider getting into real estate as a business, to run it as a business. Hands-on can also mean, like I do at the moment, I can put offers on property. I can view properties through a team of people that I have finding me property deals. I have somebody manage the portfolio, somebody look after the finances. And then typically what happens, oh, I've gone fuzzy here. Let me just get that back in. Oh, apologies. Oh, that's it. We're back in action. So typically what will happen is a deal comes on the table, like has happened this week. I'll review it. I'll assess it. I'll say, actually, the numbers stack up. Yes, I'd like to put an offer in. Offer goes in. And then once it gets accepted, there's a legal team, there's a whole power team around me, plus builders, etc., that can do the work for me. So it's still hands-on, but it's more hands-on as a business owner, making decisions, as opposed to hands-on doing the business and doing every aspect of that as well. So think about this when you're looking at your property business. Certainly starting out, if you do want to get into property properly, I recommend getting very hands-on initially to get a sense of what the different moving components of the business are, so you can then step away and hand some of those components over. I do hope this is making sense. If we go to the hands-off approach, fully hands-off, then you've got options here. One is, yes, you have a team in place, so you're still hands-on in the sense that you're running the business and you're making decisions and choosing properties. That's one way to do it. So that's sort of, fairly hands-on, if you like, and fairly hands-off. It's in the middle. Or you go fully hands-off, where you literally just park money with somebody who manages and does it all for you, and you get a return for that. So it could be like you're an angel investor to a business where they give you 4, 5, 6, 7% per year. We have people that we work with who are like that. They have a lot of capital, and they just want to get their money working harder than if it was in the bank, for example. And that's another approach. Or it could be that you are somebody that says, well, I want to be a joint venture partner, so I'll put money in, I'll split the profit on the deal. Let's say buy and a sell deal, for example. I don't want to be that hands-on, but I still want to be part of that business and get the benefit of it. That's another element to it. Or it could be that you have somebody find you property deals for you. In other words, you are an investor, you're hands-off, you've got a certain amount of capital, and then you get somebody to find those property deals for you. If you're going to do that, I still highly recommend learning to do this professionally, so you know how to filter and how to choose the person or the people that are finding you the properties, because there's a lot of people out there that I've come across over the years that have actually used what we call sourcing agents to find them deals, but because they weren't educated in what to know and what to look for, how to analyze, how to evaluate a property, they were found really shit deals. And it's cost them a lot of money. Now, that's happened to me way back in the past when I started, and these are things you've got to be mindful of as well. All right, so that's the hands off. And then the final thing is just time. How much time do you have, and what return on investment are you looking for? If you're more hands-on, then the chances are you will get a higher return on your money. If you put 100 grand into a property that you're doing yourself, you might get a 20, 30, 35% return on investment, as an example. But you're putting your time into that, whereas if you go more hands-off, you might get, especially if you're an angel, for example, you might get a 7 or 8% return, but you're doing nothing. You're just parking the money there. And somewhere in the middle of that is that sort of, the 10, 15, 18, 20% potentially, if you're slightly hands-on and slightly hands-off. So you're balancing it out. That's pretty much how it works. So you as an investor got to go, actually, you know what, Dr. O, I want to get involved. I want to start the business off, get it going, and then transition to a more hands-off, which is how I did it. Okay, hopefully that helps. Consider that. Go and spend a bit of time finding out about this. Go and watch the presentation that I've set up. It's basically an invitation to a webinar with me. And at least get your head into what other elements needed to make this happen. And of course, if you go, actually, this is amazing, I really want to do this, then invest in yourself and go a little bit further down the rabbit hole to make sure that you, listen, money spent on you is always going to pay dividends in the future. So the more knowledgeable you are about a subject, the more selective you can be with your strategy. So for example, I choose to be somewhere in the middle, but on bigger projects, I will go down the rabbit hole to being a lot more hands-on because it's a big project. Great, I'm excited about it. Maybe it's a new area of what we're doing in our business. I want to be more hands-on, whereas there's run-of-the-mill deals, the last 5 or 6 properties we bought, I haven't even seen them. So they're more hands-off. So you can get a balance, and that's probably best to learn that process. Okay, I'm going to sign off now. Hopefully you have a great day.